We mentioned as we were going to break that the Niners got back on a good foot today. Easy victory down there in Duval as they just run roughshod over Trevor.
Get on the good foot, by the way, one of my favorite James Brown songs.
So good. Now they're going to lay double digits against Baker Mayfield, who plants flags. 10 up to 10.5 now in the Bay as they're going to go out there to Santa Clara. And this is so weird because the Niners, 3-game losing streak, now they get everybody back, and they look like the Niners of old that when they were 5-0. But the Buccaneers they're kind of spunky, Wes.
They're plucky.
Right, good plucky. Good adjective. They're not sexy, right? But Baker, I got to give him credit. It's like he's fighting for a job, man. He's like, I used to be the guy. I was the chosen one. I was the number one pick in the draft. And then I got bounced around this league. And now I'm fighting for a job. And I think Baker's actually having a nice account of himself as a starting quarterback on a team that's trying to, reach level playing field at 4-5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, on the Tampa side, it's not all Mayfield's fault. I think he's performed adequately.
Yeah, it's been okay.
I think this team's just a little bit uneven talent-wise. Now, you still got Mike Evans to throw the ball to, and that's the thing with the Bucs that always give people hope that maybe this team can kind of find itself. You still have, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. By the way, Evans had a massive day today, 6 catches, 143, and a touchdown. And you still got really good athletes on that defense. They sacked Will Levis 4 times a day, forced a turnover. So this team does have some talent, but it's always uneven, and I think one of the reasons why is because they're one of the worst in the league at running the ball, and they didn't run the ball great today.
Nope.
I think they had 77 yards total.
And that's not going to get it
on
done
29 rushes,
Oof.
so that's 2.7 a rush. They haven't been able to run the ball in years.
No, they really haven't.
In Tampa, and that really is what kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. And why Baker Mayfield, look, he's not going to be perfect all the time, but that puts him in such a crappy position because he's, I got to make a play. I got to throw the ball down the field, and some of those are going to get picked off. I don't care who you are, but you're going to fight the buzzsaw here, who I think the market's going to be back high on because maybe the market got too low on the 49ers when they lost 3 in a row. And it's like, hey, when this team has Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel back, they might still be the best team in the league. And Brock Purdy, and that's a reason why Brock Purdy does lead the NFL in expected points added per play, also completion percentage over expected. So that's a reason why. And I thought Brock Purdy, look, he was going to have some rough spots. You can't run that good forever.
But he's been great. I mean, for expectation level.
But 19 to 26, 296, and 3 touchdowns today. Fantastic. They ran the ball solid, too. McCaffrey, 16 for 95, even though he did not get that touchdown.
No, he didn't. They tried late, too. Even the game was well decided. You knew what they were trying to do.
Because usually you don't see that in the NFL. You see that stuff in college.
Right. They really wanted to keep that string going. He did not get that, but now he could start a new streak here. Up to 10.5. I kind of look towards the under at 42.5 because the only way I could see the Buccaneers they can't win a shootout with this team. They just don't have the offensive firepower, as we mentioned, devoid of running the football. You got to think that this is what I do now as a defensive-minded head coach in Todd Bowles. I got to ugly this thing up, kind of like the Browns did to be the first team to knock off San Francisco, and that was unexpected. I think that's the only way they can stay in this game is if they kind of muddy it up and hold them to field goals.
Absolutely. So, I kind of, feel what you're putting out there. So I wouldn't disagree with that necessarily. Already seeing some 11s in the market, too. It's circa at 11 already, but I think this is where it's going to say, what do we have? 4 double-digit favorites next week?
We got a bunch.
And we're going to maybe start getting more later in the season as teams are kind of out of it.
We got the rich and we got the poor in this league right now.
Yes, we do. And San Francisco, obviously, you can't price them any higher based off that performance today in Jacksonville.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.